Hello everyone and welcome to a video that is very long overdue. We will finally be building Nedry's Jeep crash site. I've promised this a long time ago when I worked on the helicopter landing and the T-Rex paddock. You can both check those out on the channel. And this is the final one that I wanted to do, which is recreate something from the original Jurassic Park, which I felt is really aided by the new mods that we currently have, mostly the enhanced terrain tools and the expanded islands mod. I will link those both down below. We are building the first of Nedry's crash sites on Isla Sorna in 1993. I will be showing you two versions in this video on two different maps because I couldn't figure out which one I liked better. Hopefully you guys can help me figure that out, so watch this video all the way through. As you can see, it is a speed build, so we're racing through this. I'm gonna show you two versions, and let me know at the end of the video which one of those two you think works best, and it mostly has to do with the waterfalls we have available. So right now I am on Sorna 1993. We have these kind of oddly textured waterfalls, but this was the first one that came to mind that I thought might be useful for Nedry's Jeep crash site. It's not like a full-blown waterfall. I'm doing this off the top of my head. It's been very long since I've built this, so it's been very long since I looked at my references. So maybe my references are totally contradicting me at that point, but there is some sort of waterfall. Like, it's not a full-fledged waterfall as we see in this map, from the top of my head again. But there is water falling, so hence we needed that. What I did is I've placed a redwood log. That is from another mod. I think this is from the environment rework by DANNYBOB. I'm not sure. But this fallen redwood log is pretty popular at this point, and it was very necessary for this build, because the Jeep gets stuck on a fallen tree, and this was the best approximation thereof. Now, I'm just fiddling around with the terrain a lot in sort of an attempt to make that waterfall look a little less unrealistic. It's very straight, it's very flat, so I thought that maybe by having the terrain come out at certain parts would help that a little bit. I'm just fetching my Jeep right now. As you can see, I close off the ranger station so that when I leave the Jeep, he doesn't move. He's right there, he's comfortable, and he's not gonna go back to the station. You'll see me redo a lot of stuff during this build, because that's one of the things I do remember about recreating Nedry's Jeep site. I had to redo stuff a lot, and that's mostly to do with the fact that when you place an object, the terrain around it gets smoothed out quite a bit, so that means all of the terrain work that you've done, you more or less have to redo. But here I'm just getting the tree in the right position, getting the Jeep in the right position, and I think this is pretty much where I left it. And essentially all there's left to do is build what goes around it. So I wanted the waterfall to be as short of a drop as possible. It's not very high in the movie. I think this is still too high. Perspective is really difficult in the game because you don't have a reference, but once I pulled the Jeep up to it, I realized it was quite tall. And in the movie, Nedry didn't really have to climb that much to get up and down. So that's why I raised it quite a bit. And again, just more fiddling. Oh, I turned it to day, mostly for video purposes. And now I'm just working on the surrounding terrain. Now, like I said, I did stuff like 3 times over sometimes because placing an object would smooth out the terrain, or conversely, I'd be unable to place an individual object because the surrounding terrain was too extreme. For example, right now, I'm starting work on sort of like a mountain, and I'm going to cut a ravine through there, which is going to replace the tunnel that we see in the movie, We can't do tunnels, unfortunately, in the game, so this was this was the next best thing. This being, here you go, cutting a ravine through the mountain. The second time I did it, I angled it away a little bit just so you wouldn't look down into the quote-unquote tunnel. But, you know, I was doing all of this, and you can't really get it too precise because the tools are still limited. We can't do a tunnel, stuff like that. We can't line it with stones or anything, so it is still pretty limited. So I sort of... Once you accept that, it becomes quite easy. You know, you don't hold yourself to too high a standard, but I'm laying down the dirt road, I'm doing my thing, adding foliage. It's really just thick jungle all the way around. And here you go. This is the point where I realized, oh, I done effed up. I couldn't place the little sign that indicates where the east dock is because the mountains are too extreme. And I got the cannot flatten situation. So I placed the little sign, and I'm gonna redo the mountains again. And I think I had to do them a third time. And again, this is why it's a good thing that I realized it's never gonna get perfect. It's never going to be actually movie accurate because we can't make a tunnel. Because yeah, I had to do them three times. Speaking is hard. I think the other problem I ran into is when I wanted to place the specific tree that Nedry attaches the... Oh my god, I don't know the English word for this. The hook with the rope on the thing. English is not my first language. I don't know what that's called, but you know what I mean. The thing on the front of the Jeep that, you know, he tugs out and means to attach to the tree. Please comment down below what that's called. I have no idea. Anyway, here you see me, well, you don't see me, but imagine if I had audio turned on. If I was recording, I would have cursed there. Because I couldn't place the tree without, again, flattening a bit of the mountains. So I decided on that tree to be the one tree, the true tree, that he's going to use for the scene. And just bringing the mountains back as you do, just raising them up, carving that ravine once more. Yeah, it's been so long, I don't remember if this was it. I'm having a look. She's having a look, seeing where she can fiddle, adding more foliage. There you go, and now I turn to nighttime. I'm dropping in a Dilophosaurus, which is what is causing the smoke, gives a nice effect. And also, in the end, a Dilophosaurus is running around here. I don't think I show you that, but he is being dropped in currently. There are the flares. What I imagine you could use this for, especially with the new mod that has come out with, you know, a Jeep that you could just have as a decorative item. I think this would be really cool as an exhibit, and have a tour go down the dirt road through the ravine by the east dock sign. You know, it could be... There he is! It could be an exhibit, a themed exhibit within your park. I think that's a pretty cool way to actually use it in your park. Sort of see it as a universal ride of some sort. And okay. She's trying to take a good thumbnail and it's a struggle. I'll probably cut this out. We are now on the second island that I wanted to try out, and this is Isla Tacaño. It has 2 waterfalls, so I'm just having a look around, you know, scouting for waterfalls, see which works best. I decided on this one. The argument against this waterfall as opposed to the one on Sorna 1993, this waterfall does look more realistic, but the splashes that it produces are very, very big. It might not necessarily seem like it right now, but once again, when I pull up the Jeep, you'll see just how enormous those splashes are, and that's not really representative of what we see in the movie. But then again, the waterfall on Sorna is so fake because it's so far away from where you can normally get the camera that's a little bit of a challenge. I tried like adding a little bit of water at the top and at the bottom. I just like watched it a minute ago. I don't remember if I did that for the first version. There is a little bit of water below the waterfall, obviously, but not too much. It's not like a proper river. It's not a proper pond, at least not as far as I can see or as far as I can remember off the top of my head. But there is a teeny tiny bit of muddy water where obviously the can with the embryos eventually gets lost. So yeah, aside from the difference in locale, the process is mostly the same. You know, we have a slight incline, which I did make a little bit higher on this one because the waterfall just demands it. Here's a little bit of water. I think that works pretty well with the dirt texture underneath. But yeah, the process is the same. You put down the tree. I wanted to add a rock there just to mimic the scene as much as possible with the limited resources that we have. Oh god, I'm rambling. I don't know. It's been so long since I built this. I had to take a break from YouTube for a little bit, from life really. So that's why. But yeah, it's been so long since I built this that I can't really narrate it to the best of my abilities, but I'm trying. Here we have that same issue with building constraints. There, we'll get rid of the rock. It's fine. She gets rid of the rock. We do not mourn the loss of the rock, okay? It's fine. What was I saying? Right, so I took a break from YouTube. It's been well over a month since I built this. But yeah, I mean, the visuals, I suppose, speak for themselves. You see what I'm doing in terms of, you know, what terrain things I'm using. By the way, this is the DANNYBOB terrain mod. This is the environments rework. I'm pretty sure the the redwood log is part of that, but the dirt definitely is. What I'm doing over here, which was a little bit difficult to see, excuse me, I'm having a case of the dry throat. What I did there, which you couldn't exactly see, but I placed an invisible fence. Again, this is another mod, because the terrain that I have at the log there is at a slight incline, and I figured, and that was correct, that the Jeep would roll down that incline, but I had to have that because I wanted the water there. So in the Sorna 1993 version, the terrain on top was completely flat, so when I parked the Jeep, it would just stay in place. Obviously, the log doesn't have a hitbox on it, so it doesn't stop anything. So that's why I placed the invisible fence, just to stop the Jeep from rolling down. You can see that there's an incline there. I made it visible, so it's visible. And now I'm just getting the position right, because I need the log to be right in the, right behind the wheel, I suppose, right behind the front wheel. Because that's where it was in the movie. So I'm just figuring out the placement, doing it, like, smoothing out the terrain a little bit. Here we go. And I think that placement is pretty good, so I had to pull it back, make the fence invisible. There you go. And that's pretty good placement, but you can see how steep that is, so the Jeep would have definitely just rolled down that hill. And there you go. That's it. That is the recreation of Nedry's Jeep site. Let me know which of the versions you liked best. And that was it for now. Yeah. Leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up. If you love this video, subscribe to the channel, because we have a lot more stuff where that came from. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, enjoy the game.